Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching in the world. Sean Driver, the Red Horde, and this is the after 90 minutes 2-1, and I've got the wrong score up. Boom. That's better. A 2-1 win. Wrexham takes on Stockport, takes it to them, beats the champions, and we wrap up a season in League Two. Just one season. We go back to back as we push forward and we do our thing. And you should be finding me on a multiple different number of platforms, the local pundit, Dazzle Publishing, Racecourse Ramble. You might find me on Welsh Beast, and I don't know if the Aussies put me up. They will probably be joining at some point in time. I'm going to find the links. If you're watching on my channel, and on most of them where you're watching, you're going to be able to join us as we collect everybody together to connect. And I've got to just have that one scroll forward. And so I'm going to pin that message in my chat so that you can come and join. I will also put it through Restream here. And maybe I should have actually put it through Restream anyways. Let me go to the chat here and hit this. Too much of a good thing. That's what this year has been. And so we're going to sit here and talk about it. There's the link. I'm going to click on it to show it. I'm going to pin it on the discussion. Click that link. Log in and join us. We're going to be chatting with other people as they join us. Don't mind my kidlets that are there. I'll have an hour to do it. But what a crazy finish that one was. An absolute screamer by Cannon. A brilliant pass by EOC that got us the goal there in the end. It's a good day. It's a solid day. It's a fun day. And I just noticed that my scoreboard's not on the minimize. I'm going to have to bring that down in the future. Little tiny things that you learn as you go through this process. And is it my... Hold on. I look a little bit blurry. At least I do on my YouTube one. In any event, we'll figure all this out as we go through it. We're here to I'm going to fix this. Don't mind me as we get through this. So by all means, click the bottom one. Let's talk about the season it was. Let's talk about favorite memories. Let's talk about what you guys enjoyed about that one. If you missed the game in itself, Stockport largely with possession early on in the game, controlled things, not really able to find too much until they ended up potting their goal. I won't go through the specifics of that one, but it didn't take long for us to answer into the second half with a glorious little pass by EOC up over the top. Palmer ended up collecting it. Brilliant first touch, pushing it through. Had Hinchcliffe, the goalkeeper for Stockport, coming out. Could have opted to go left or right. Ended up going right, found its way through into the net. I thought originally, how did he get into that middle and why not offside? Put onside by the defender over on the left side, their right side, who ended up being too far back and put him on. So great for us. We push it forward and everything's hunky-dory and we're laughing. The second one, holy man, Cannon just blasting the crap out of things. Just blasting it. Nice little ball on the right-hand side from Cleworth, split two defenders, and landed up on the boot of Cannon, as we've seen time and time again from that right-hand side. Absolutely mashed it. And so, exactly, Michael, second, can't complain with that at all. Was happy to see Palmer. The only downside for the day for me was Luke didn't get a sub out and his opportunity to get his round of applause because I don't expect him to come back. And so that would have been his last hurrah, and I would have liked him. He got a swan song. He certainly did, and he performed exceptionally well. Would have just liked to have seen him maybe get his chance to go out to the applause of those in the race course. But it sounded like an absolute screamer belter that was in there for the people that were in attendance. I know lots of Americans that were over there that traveled for the last game of the season, whether they're local, whether they're international. It was a good, fun day, and we took 3 points from the champions. And we climbed League One, keeping an eye on the out-of-town scoreboard and we'll go through that, I think, as we figure that out. League One played earlier in the day, so Cheltenham Town not able. They were given an opportunity by Burton Albion, who was losing 0-2. I think they lost 2-0, but who lost anyways. Cheltenham Town just needed a win to be able to save themselves from falling down into League Two and failed to do so. So Burton Albion rescued, in a sense. Pin. There's the pin on the channel. And so on my channel, it's pinned now that if you're looking for the link, you can head over there. If you're watching on Twitter or otherwise, you can go to my YouTube at the Red Horde, and you will find the manner and how to join us. Feel free to come and join us. And I do have somebody here already. And so let's not steal too much thunder. I've got Andrew Jones. Are you ready? Oh, he's adjusting. So pull him over. There we go. Andrew, let's bring you in. How are you, Andrew?
Oh, I?
Things are good?
Yeah.
I'm getting you a little pixelated, or at least a little bitty. I've got you frozen now. So let's see what happens over time and whether I can get you in. Maybe it's me. I've lost my connection.
Yeah.
Because I can see you down on the bottom. It's my top screen. I got to go to my backup. 1 second.
Yeah.
Frozen. And so I had to go. That was my fault. And so that's why I have a backup. Andrew, how are you?
Oh, I?
And let me, as I get my stuff all in order here, because I've got to hear it out of here. Tell me about your live. You're in charge. What did you think of the game? What did you think of the season? What are your thoughts on everything?
Fantastic season. Yeah, good to finish second and go straight up.
And is it just me that's struggling with this thing? I've got you. My YouTube's not showing as I'm cut off here. Let me see exactly what's happening. I got you clear as day. I'm just struggling to see how it's working on at least the YouTube, if not other streams. And I'm dropping some people as they seem to be trying to figure out what's happening. It is me, and I'm working to fix it. So just give me a couple seconds here to figure out exactly what's going on as people are. And Brendan says I'm fine, so I will just continue, even though I'm working on things on that end. So, favorite memory. Let's start with that, Andrew. What was your favorite memory of the season that was?
Oh, when we got promotion.
Oh yeah.
The game.
And were you at that one? I'm picking up an accent.
No, I'm in South Wales actually, not North Wales.
There we go. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to connect everything together. And so where are you watching from? I usually ask everybody when they come in here, where are you from? How did you fall in love with the club? All those sorts of things. So tell us the story that is you.
Well, I've been following Wrexham since Robin Ryan took over.
Yeah.
Obviously. I just follow Welsh football anyway because I'm Welsh. So.
And are you located in Wales or are you overseas?
In Wales, in South Wales.
South Wales. So you've got a general fandom for everybody. Is it Cardiff, Swansea? Wrexham is your team?
Yeah, but Wrexham is the main one, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that entirely. And so as for following the season, so you've been following Wales. You've now jumped more on board with the Robin Ryan takeover. You had the promotion thing. What else settles in for you as favorite opportunities, things that you've appreciated? And did you know you clicked on the link to get in live?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't done one of these in ages anyway.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. And I apologize for my technical glitches for the people that are there. We're waiting for everybody else to log in here. I'm going to keep Andrew on the line as we go through it. I do want to take a look just really quickly. I went through the Burton Albion thing, being able to stick up, and they've managed to make their way and stay their way in League One. So we'll add them to the list of teams that we will be playing next year. Interesting as far as the championship goes, it was running at the same time. Sheffield Wednesday, who 2 games ago was sitting in the bottom looking like they were in trouble. Well, not the bottom. Rotherham's been living there. But in the relegation zone, they were been able to go with points in 5 in a row and 2 wins in a row to pull themselves up now. They're 3 points to safety with 1 game left. So not entirely safe, I suppose, because Birmingham can still catch them with a win, and they've got a bad goal differential. But Plymouth, they ended up losing. They're now in danger, only 1 point up from Birmingham, who Birmingham was able to get a draw with Huddersfield. So it still looks like Birmingham and Huddersfield in trouble. Do you have a preference out of those? Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth, Birmingham, Huddersfield, who comes down?
No.
Just take on all comers?
Yeah.
So for me, I've always wanted more South Yorkshire people, being where my wife is from. So I was kind of hoping Sheffield Wednesday would come down. But I think the idea of an away day to Birmingham makes probably most people in Wrexham happy. But I'm interested to see what's going on there. Ruby Slippers logging in, setting up in the other room for the local pundit. So they'll be here joining us shortly. Anything else that you wanted to add, Andrew, as to the match before we start rotating through people?
It was a good match, yeah.
Yeah. Any highlights that you recall? Anything that stood out other than that cannon absolute melter from the right-hand side?
No, Cannon's goal was good, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was an impressive match. I will say there was a bit of a lull there between our first goal and the last 20, 30 minutes. Maybe we kind of stole one a little bit. Things let down, but it entertaining match going back and forth. And I've got it. I'm going to, Andrew, thank you so much for joining. We're going to grab somebody else as they come in. We'll add the rest of the mob. Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andrew. For everybody else, feel free to share your chat, get into this one, jump in, and let us know. And potentially, I don't know, I'm going to have to take the benefit of the doubt. Everybody else is allowed to come in and have their chat and do their thing, and I'm going to let you guys do the same. You're certainly welcome to join me. Link is in the description below as we go through and talk about what it was. For those of you who didn't end up seeing it, you got to talk about the EOC pass. You got to talk about what other things that ended up happening through that game that were impressive. The Cleworth had himself a game and the entire back line, and not just in setting themselves up defensively, but what ended up impressing me through that matchup was you have EOC, who's got that pass and is pushed through the middle. You've got Cleworth, who there was one opportunity that they ended up having where it was Richards, who missed probably an easy one and should have probably had one, but he had an opportunity with a cross through the middle that EOC stepped up to guard him. And Cleworth able to jump in and end up pounding that one away. I don't know. Unless you think I'm taking the mick, because I'm not. But if you haven't been there, don't worry about it. Josh, get here when you can get here. I'll hold the fort down, and we'll connect things as we go through. Happy to have anybody who joined in the description down below. If you're on Twitter, you can go to @TheRedHorde and you can click on there, and there's a link there to be able to join in and come in and have After 90 Minutes, treating it like a sports radio chat. You guys know it as the 606 over in the UK. And it was interesting the first 10 to 15 minutes. The possession stats only got as high as I think 58% for Stockport. But what was impressive for me and a little bit scary and nervy was the fact that for the first 10 minutes, it was almost entirely with midfield stripe up to the 18-yard box for Stockport. And so, Ken, I'm absolutely with you on that one, that they came into it well. Things started to change after that point. We obviously let that. It was a nice goal by Stockport. I'm going to have to give it to him. It was a great pass over to Camps into the middle of the box, and he had time and really had, he had time to collect and get a shot away while he had defenders closing in on him, and he found it over to the left-hand side. And Travis, I've have nothing but appreciation for everybody who's been joining the channel and taking part in the watch parties, watch alongs, as an add a little bonus to the watching that they're doing in their home. For some people, it's their only ears, whether they're away and they can't log in. So it's been fine. Ken, you're going to have to wait. I know that you're paired, so wherever you end up watching, you're on YouTube, so you might be at the local pundit, you might be at Dazzle Publishing. They usually put them in the description, so feel free to click on the link there. If not, the link is on my website or on my YouTube channel. I don't want to draw people away from there. Wherever you're watching, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, let the algorithm gods know that you're there. And yes, Hugh, my friend, it was a wonderful ending to the season. It was glorious to end up knocking off Stockport. At least we'll have some silence maybe from them. I'm sure they'll remind us that they scored 5 and that they're the champions. And we'll say, well, we went back to back and you need an extra year. And that's all banter that we're going to be able to end up enjoying as we go throughout. Ruby's logged on. I see you're black. If you want to go in the private chat to just tell me that you're okay, just audio only. Otherwise, I'll wait for you to click in, Ruby, to end up joining us. It's all good at the TLP, and I'm going to go ahead and add you then. Ruby, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, Sean?
I'm having a blast. That was an amazing day. Yesterday was an outstanding day with the announcement that came through, and I'm just ecstatic. It's all things Wrexham, all the time, right? So
Yeah. Good morning this morning and a great day for you yesterday. So excited for all of the folks in Canada, especially there in BC, who will have an easier time getting to see a show than maybe would otherwise. Not everybody
Yes.
can make the trip.
And at $120 Canadian to $350 Canadian, I know there's a lot of locals that are not taking that very well, but
Understandably.
I'm all over it. Like I didn't bat an eye.
I'm sure that there are a lot of folks appreciative of the information you put out as a local, kind of for logistics. And I think you were trying to maybe pick a pub, weren't you?
I've settled on the pub. I haven't called them yet, but I put a poll out on Twitter to basically say, hey, for those that are coming over, what do you want? Do you want exclusivity? Do you want proximity? Do you want price point? And it's mostly exclusivity and size out. So I know exactly what pub that is. I just have to call them and arrange it. So if I can, it'll be the sports pub at Robson, which is in the hockey rink right next door. It's 14 square feet. It's a 5-minute walk. And it'll be close to the fan zone for people who want to go in and out. And so I'm hoping that they'll be able to host us. And if not, I'll find another alternative. So we're figuring that out. I got to do some videos. I might do something like this just to talk and maybe work with Josh, who's going to be joining us to talk about like, if you're coming to our town, this is some places to stay and all that sort of stuff. But
it's been a while since I've been there, but Van is so gorgeous. And if anyone was going to make a longer vacation of it, they just can't go wrong. There's so much to do. There's so much to eat and try, the different cuisines and cultures, the natural beauty. I mean, everything you could want in a major city and more is in Van.
Yeah, it'll be a spectacular trip for everybody. And I've been calling you Ruby only because that's your name on your thing, and I don't want to take people's names if they don't want their real name being used. So, but Jesse, I know who you are.
Appreciate that. No, yeah, and I respond to Ruby now as much as I do my own name.
Yeah, for sure. I'm stoked about the Vancouver prospect. I will be having videos up there. I want for people who are looking to come over, whether it be from Seattle, because there's cheaper flights. Actually, I've heard from the UK over to Seattle, and whether they're looking to come up, maybe the train or connecting with people. If people want to fly into Calgary and rent an RV and go through the Rocky Mountains all the way down and explore Canada while they're coming over here anyway. There are lots of options, and I want to put together what some of those are for people who are coming over. But let's talk about and yes, it's $350 Canadian. That's $1.17 US. Not quite, but close.
$1.17. Yeah, I'd be up there if that was it. I'd be going to Van as well as Santa Clara if that was the exchange rate.
Yeah, for sure. I've got two people. I've got one more person here. Deandra's logged in, so I'll get to Deandra after we're talking to Jesse. Let's just talk about the game that was and the experience that was the last game against Stockport for the season in League Two. Where did you take it in? What were your thoughts? How did it go?
Here in Kansas, obviously on the stream, and it was a little bit of a late night. I'm sure that most folks know that we had some parts of the Midwest were a little bit active weather-wise yesterday and last night. But fortunately, I and all of my friends are well and fine. But I had a little bit of a late start, so I was taking care of my normal morning routine, especially with the dogs, hauling around first my tablet and then later my laptop, just so I didn't miss a moment. Because even though it wasn't perhaps our best display of skill level by the team, you couldn't miss a moment because everybody was on top of each other. There wasn't a lot of lulls and downtime, and I lived in absolute dread of missing a live, iconic moment. So it was with the dogs outside or bringing them in when Ollie made his attempt. What was that, 6 yards out that was blocked?
Yeah.
The one that we all thought was going to go in. We all thought it. And then I just start wailing in the backyard because I had thought, I was already excited. I thought it was done. And so that's the first thing the neighbors heard this morning, which is not the end of what's going to make them absolutely sure that I'm insane. Then later I'd ordered some DoorDash because I'm hoard about breakfast on game days. And I'm like, I probably should eat. This is a big, big day. So ordered some DoorDash, went to the front porch with the laptop this time because I'd switched to it for better view. And that's when Ollie scores as I'm on the front porch and I'm just screaming in a falsetto I didn't know I had.
The neighbors love you.
Ollie! And so then more of the neighborhood is surely concerned about my mental state. But yes, and then I don't know how many of us were sure we were gonna do a draw even, much less win it. We were all hopeful, I believe, for many of us. But I mean, up until Andy scored, I was really I was becoming very content with a draw.
Yeah.
I just didn't want Stockport to get another goal. And then I don't think I really stopped crying after Andy made that goal. Not only was it magnificent and happy for him, right? But it was just the whole season, I guess, this overwhelming, magical experience. And even though I was a bit weepy on promotion, I was just so moved and getting a chance to see everyone for, I mean, I guess they're not all dying and going to war, but I mean, you're so attached to them. And when will I next see them, or even
and will you see all of them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. With that knowledge, but just, it's been such an amazing ride as a new fan. And I'm so deeply grateful for the opportunity that I've had to connect with so many wonderful, welcoming people, that it really, I was overcome and that's probably why I sound a little bit hoarse, is it's just been a beautiful morning. Was it our best playing ever? Probably not, but I don't care. And we have plenty of other people who are more technically savvy and much more informed. But for me, the spirit of the day, I'm so happy for the team. I'm so happy for the fans. And I just feel really, really fortunate to have witnessed it and been a part of the community.
I'm with you. The community's been outstanding, and it's been an absolute treat, and not what I expected when this whole process has started. It's been better than I could have even anticipated, and for the most part, totally welcome. But I'm with you. I actually thought that we performed fairly, quite well. I mean, I'm not.
Second half, they came back with some fire.
But even in the first half, I thought that we were on board. I thought that there were opportunities. Agreed. The first 10 minutes, no. The first 10 minutes we were off, and I went, "Oh, this could go the wrong way." But even when we were down 1-0, I was like, "That's a consequence of a nice play on their end." But we certainly had our opportunities. They were willing to trade options. There were some points where it felt like they were just opened the floodgates up, and we're going back and forth, just punch, counter punch. So I was on board with it generally. But to me, dead rubber doesn't really matter, other than the Stockport County fans who are going to be annoying anyway. They're going to be annoying for them anyway. But that's the only reason why I was like, I just like the 3 points for that reason. But I knew that unless we scored 6, we're going to hear 5-0.
Of course.
And we can fight about for the end of time, or at least until we start in August again. What's more important, back to back, or being the champion? And
that's subjective. Each person can decide that for themselves. But I agree with you that Wrexham showed up today. And I'd like to also thank you. I mean, this platform, this community that you've helped create, as we talk about the broader Wrexham community, from a big picture perspective, you're absolutely part of that mosaic and have brought a communal experience for people who don't get the stream, from the early days, and have had some really great people come and kind of do crossover and introduce them to folks they might not have otherwise come across. So thank you, Sean, for that. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Work. But it's been fun, and it's been welcoming, and I went into it wanting to be a gateway for those who were interested and intrigued from the documentary, and actually pulling them in and maybe helping them find the community and the team. And I think that it's worked out relatively well. So I'm happy with that. And now Vancouver, now I got to plan a whole trip. I'm going to I've got Deandra and I've got Josh.
Absolutely.
And I'd stay on for a little bit.
Oh, okay. If you like, but I'm happy to go out.
No, you always have such welcome insight. And Deandra and Josh is the same. I'm just going to intro Josh here because he's obviously a partner and he's got his people on his stream. And he's just a solid dude. So let's
100%.
grab Josh. How are you, sir? How was the day for you?
Good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a little bit, but it's good to see you.
Illness. The whole family hit norovirus, and it was ugly. And we're all like 6-7 pounds lighter.
Oh dear.
Well, the missus always says she's just one stomach flu away from her goal weight. So.
Oh God.
So,
Sorry, it's a bad joke. It's a bad joke, but it's not my joke. It's hers. And
so anyway, other than the eldest, we're all back and swinging and doing our thing. But I didn't have a watch along for the crew game because there was just too much. I was mostly up dealing. I was the better of everybody. And so I was the one who was cleaning and treating the kids in the morning and moving things around and garbage bags out on beds. And it was not, let's talk about pleasant things. Let's talk about the game. And Josh, tell us your thoughts.
So last week, I'll tell you, so everyone was concerned about you, myself included. I was going to call you, like, I think he's sleeping. And then you said you were sick. I almost called you to check on you, but you were like, don't call me at 3:30 in the morning. So I did not call you for that game. But I was like, I'm a friend, but I was like, he's going to be, I don't want to bother him, So
I was disappointed that I'd slept, but I needed I'm glad that I had taken that because I needed it. Like I was done.
Your body was telling you that.
Yeah, I almost pushed you. Hi, Ruby. How are you doing? Nice red.
No, that's my kid dying outside. The guy upstairs already died. My history, I'm blessed and I'm cursed, and I live in the world of extremes. Fire, dead body upstairs, scaffold collapse over the thing, norovirus, COVID when my kid was born. It's been fun. But
maybe,
Josh,
maybe don't repeat it and put it back into the universe.
No,
man.
I'm done with it now.
Done.
Vancouver's hosting Wrexham. It's all uphill from here.
You're cruising. Yep.
So Josh, tell me, you obviously had the watch party watch along on your channel as well. If you don't know who Josh is, at the local pundit, you can go over there and you can hit the like button on his button, subscribe and do all that sort of stuff. Hey, you can do it for me too. Jump over just for a second and hit subscribe because I'm only about like 50. Yeah, do both sides. I'm only like 15 away from 2,000. It would be amazing to get to 2,000 today. And so let's try and swing that one. But Josh, he's there like almost every night, if not every night. Multiple times he's got other people who show up when he's not there to fill the gaps. They talk Wrexham news and what's coming up and all that sort of stuff. If you're looking transfer news and just somebody to stay aboard and just be able to talk with, he's got the stuff. I wish I had that time. I don't. But he's there for you. And so go to the local pundit and check it out.
You're always welcome. Yes.
Tell us about your game experience.
How was my game experience? So, all right. I figured I saw the lineup. I was like, all right, we're going to go full bore. I thought we came out of the gates a little bit shaky. Ivan was on with us and Sheldon came out a little later. Ivan was not happy with what was going on. It was a rough game. Listen, it was a rough game going in, but I think we showed our grit, and I think the game showed our the elevation of the season. We kind of built toward the crescendo of winning. I think we found a way to do it. I thought the team battled. I thought that Stockport, they played like champions themselves, and Parkinson, listen, he is. I know John is a huge fan of Parkinson, so I'm not. And I think Parkinson showed like why his team's behind him. And today, I think was kind of indicative of our full season. Didn't start out great. We got punched. We counter punched right back with a great ball. From O'Connell down to Palmer. A couple hits and misses there, and then Andy Cannonball, like he just absolutely just demolishes one in the back of the net, and we go on and win the game. And we're going up. So I think today was kind of like indicative of our entire season for our game. So that's what I thought. My 2 seconds. She's laughing at me. I hear she's
no, sorry. I just saw something in the chat about Jivin, and I'm not sure if Sean knows about Jivin.
Probably does.
I'll send you the link to that particular episode. It is Ivan's Kansas cousin made an appearance on the local pundit.
Oh God, I'm scared. Now that makes
don't be. He's a very friendly macho man.
Ivan in a dress. If you don't know, Ivan frequently appears on the local pundit with Josh. And so I'm with you, and I actually hadn't thought of that as a synopsis of the entire season because that first 10 minutes I was nervy. It was painful, so I'll give you credit where it's due. But then we started to slowly take over. They got it was a pretty goal. It was a pretty goal what they scored. I have to give it to them.
It was one of those. It was a great goal, right? It was one of those. By the way, I put that together. I was thinking like that's the arc of our season, right?
It is the arc of our season.
That's the arc of our season. See, we got you and I. We need to talk more. Ruby's. I talk to Ruby all the time. Ruby. Come on, you saw this coming. I thought you would have picked up on this before me. You're smarter than I am. I blame Ruby.
I mean, I think when we're on someone else's channel, I have to be nicer to you.
and the thing is there's other channels that are also streaming this at the same time. So I was still a little bit more responsible. Although I'm sure the Aussies who are eavesdropping because of the flu, we could probably get away with being a little bit more liberal if we were streaming on their channel.
100%. And by the way, I hope he feels better. Just saw that in the chat as well.
Yes.
And I know you talked about it earlier. I'm glad you guys are feeling better. I was going to call you last week. People were messaging me, "Is Sean okay?" I should have messaged. So I feel bad. I kind of felt bad.
No, don't. It was the right thing to do on the day. I tried. I set the alarms and I went to bed and I was like, I got to literally be up in like an hour and 15 minutes. I don't think my body's going to let me do this.
Yeah, you have to listen to your body in that circumstance.
And so I woke up at 6:30 and went, I guess that's the answer. I missed it. So all is good and fine and well with the universe, and just keep marching on. And now we have other fun things to plan. You're down in California with your 2 matches, Bournemouth and Chelsea. I get to the Whitecaps. And somebody had asked earlier, the Whitecaps as an MLS team, 50th year, they do have a long history in town, and they've got a great supporting community. It's a smaller one for a pro team. They've never really won anything big. They've been around for 50 years, and I say big. They've won a second division title back a number of years ago, but they're at the top of the table right now. They've got a decent team. There are a couple of players on their team that I think would look good in Wrexham colors, and so
really?
I'm going to put maybe a video together of that. One of them in particular. Who's quite young, and we'll see what ends up happening there. But it'll be an interesting thing to watch also because, and I don't know, I'm curious of asking you this question, Josh. Are the locals down in California, do they feel like they've been excluded and segregated and stepped on? Because Vancouver Twitter is on fire with Cap supporters because they feel like they're being gouged and taken advantage of by Ryan Reynolds and his victimization of the local community to try to strip cash from them.
Interesting. That's a great point. I love that you brought this. I apologize. Go ahead. I finished it now.
No. Go ahead. I want your input, and if it's a thing.
So I had said, I was like, there's no way they're not coming to LA this year. Like I thought they would come to LA. So I was shocked at that too. The closest Santa Barbara's 90 minutes away drive from me. I looked up. I got tickets for that match. It's like it's UCSB or something like UCCB or whatever it is. I mean, you can't. I think it's like bleachers. So concerned about that. I think last year was Rob's time. This year's Ryan's time because he's from Vancouver.
Okay,
is that right?
Yes, it is exactly right.
Right, but I would have bet a week's paycheck that they would have been in LA this year.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that $6 that you all would have made would have been fantastic, but I don't know. I'm surprised they're not here in LA. I'm actually surprised they're not playing in Vegas. They're not playing in Vegas. I know they're going to Vegas, but I'm surprised they're not playing at the Sphere.
Which brings me back to, does Vegas qualify as West Coast?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that far of a drive, but I mean, I kind of get ambiguous when I get that close to California in my mind.
If you're on the working trip, which is a 90-minute flight from LA to Vegas, people can Google that if they want to know.
Sure.
If you're on the Thursday night flight, it's definitely West Coast.
Gotcha.
Yeah. John saying 2 things. 1, less talk about me, more Wrexham, which I'm on board with. And 2, why would LA be pissed 2 years in a row that they're within 90 minutes? And I get it. I think it's just the price point it came with a shock. And there's the other thing that they did is the ultras for Rex for the Whitecaps or known as the Southsiders. They didn't reserve their section for them. And so they sort of had to try to figure out how to get in and maintain their spot. And they're like, we're not going to be able to bring our voice to the game. And now I think that there's a fear that they'll be out-shouted by Wrexham.
So let me point on that real quick. I was at the Manchester United Wrexham game last year with Snapdragon. It was all Wrexham, and that's Manchester United. I was there. So there will be Wrexham people going there now for sure. Absolutely.
There's Deandra with the comment, and Deandra's still waiting. And I see that there's Ken's in the background as well. I got to get to Deandra here before too long. But exactly right.
For the Sarah Clara at all or no?
Am I going?
Yeah.
No, we're selling the house, so I got to stay close. I've taken.
So you'll
2
have
days
money
off
then to come to Santa Clara for our tailgating.
Easy. We're looking to buy another one.
Listen. How about that? Come to Santa Clara. We're gonna do something at the pub the night before. I think you're planning something too. We're gonna do a tailgate. Come down, get a ticket, and let's party. Let's do this.
I'll see what I can. I'll see what I can muster. It'd be a lot of fun. I'll look into it. I'll give you that much. I do want to grab Deandra here, who's waiting. I can see her sitting there, and then I'll get to Ken after that. Deandra, how are you? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah.
I do that all the time, and it's completely okay. And so I'll let you give you 5 seconds, and if we can get you, then that's great.
Weird.
If not, it just sucks.
Hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, it's my computer headphone thingy. Sorry if you hear noise in the background. My daughter's playing games.
I have the kids too, so I can't complain. So for those that don't know who you are, Deandra, introduce yourself again. We've done this now 2 or 3 times, but always nice to have you on the channel. Go ahead and do that.
Hi, I'm Deandra. I'm from Aruba, small island of the Caribbean, and of course, I've joined since documentary. And I'm a proud member of the Red Horde. And I'd like to thank Josh for having us over last week. It was fun to join the local pundit family as our leader was indisposed.
Yes.
John says.
That sounds a little.
The nice thing I like about the Wrexham community is there's nobody who's really snobbish and is like, I'm doing my thing and this is my bubble and I'm going to live here and do my own thing. It's like we're all just having fun with it and come in and have fun into that. And John's saying add everybody, so I might as well just go and grab.
Can I tell you this? As you're doing that, sorry to cut you off. So Deandra, I was genuinely concerned for him, but he had said that he's going to be pissed if I call him at 3:30 in the morning. So I was genuinely concerned about her well-being. I think that's indicative of what Sean does, what Wrexham is about, what we do, and everything. So it's great. So I think it's awesome. It's a great community.
Ken, how are you?
Yeah, good. How you going?
Everything's wonderful. Where do you take the game in? Let everybody know where you're at.
Yeah, in Australia, it's 2:45 in the morning here, so it was a midnight kickoff.
Dedication. See, and people, that's what people end up saying. Wrexham doesn't really have any fans. They just like the documentary. And I'm like, there are people who are waking up at God whatever time it is and moving work schedules around and doing whatever. And you're a prime example. So I'm assuming I followed the match.
I did. Yep.
Yeah. Tell us. And I didn't ask Deandra this question, but we'll go with Ken and then we'll come back to Deandra. Tell us about what you thought of the game, the season, whatever. It's kind of a free for all. Let us know what your thoughts were.
Actually, the season was almost a true the game was almost a true representation of the season. Slow start, and then come back in the end and come through for the win, and like the season came through for promotion.
Yep, I'm with you there.
John's stirred up mixes there.
Yeah, John's had his grumpy pills today for me.
I know.
I love you, John. I'm joking. And we'll come back to talking about the game a little bit more and getting into the details or the season in a little bit more detail. But Deandra, your thoughts? We've had the arc of the season.
I thought for this game, I thought I wouldn't care, and then it started. And I cared a lot, so I was a little bit irritated when they scored first. I was like, it's going to be okay, but I was more tense, and I thought it would be considering we promoted, they won. So, and for the season, I think it's been a good season overall in the sense that for me, this season, I've been really a part of, the Red Horde and the women's group, part of, everything that's been happening. I think this season, you can also see Parky's quality in, maintaining that excellent locker room. His choices in the transfer windows, perhaps not panning out quite as can be, but overall, I think Wrexham fans can be satisfied of what happened.
I agree.
I know he jumped out.
I just had to jump off. Sorry.
Have we caught the man of the match yet? Have we caught the man of the match yet? No, we haven't talked about that yet.
I haven't talked about man of the match. I was mostly talking about it in our channel as to who we pick for player of the season as well, and that's a fun discussion. Because I think there's like 7 players that are legitimately in the running, and maybe we get into that. But let's do man of the match first. Cleworth or Cannon for me, and I don't know who.
Max? Really?
Yeah. Max had that stop in the middle when EOC went over to take on Richards. last man back and was easily found the ball and cleared. He was the one who made the pass to Cannon on that play. He had a couple of run-ups and was involved. He had that flick off of the entry into the box from the free kick. That was, who took the free kick? Was it O'Connor who took the free kick? Anyway, that Fletcher had. Just solid defensively and always there. EOC obviously had that exceptional pass and was running through the midfield. I think you could have an argument for any of the players in the center backs that were there. But to me, Cannon or Cleworth. But Ken, Josh, feel free to throw in your and Jivan.
Yeah.
Feel free to add your thoughts as well.
Jivan's not here at the moment, just Ruby. But it's a really tough decision. I think, as you said, Sean, there's so many, I think, worthy candidates for different components that they brought to the match. But I'm probably going to go with Young. And that is a hugely sentimental choice. With the possibility of us not having him in the captain's position or on the team at all. So I think for me, given how many quality contributions were made, I'm picking him as my man of the match.
Yeah,
So, can I just say something real quick? Any cannonball run is getting it because of his goal. He had a horrible first half. He was not even in the game. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. That's my opinion. I'm throwing a Spano in there. I'll back out.
Interesting. I thought that Cannon was impressive defensively, at least as far as poaching people. Not so much on the offensive mix. Defensively, I thought he was solid. But you're right. As far as stirring the drink up front, that came all entirely in the second half. But I mean, when you kick a ball at 500 miles an hour, you deserve to get some credit.
Yeah,
for sure. I totally agree. And then D'Angelo's like, yeah, sure, we're sure.
So who was yours? Because you questioned Cleworth, you questioned Cannon. Did you have somebody else?
I thought I kind of agreed with the O'Connell one. Someone said Palmer, which I was no, he had a great goal, but no, O'Connell. I think it kept steady at the back, kept pushing forward, kept pushing the back. I thought O'Connell was pretty solid. It's not sexy, but Lee didn't play that great. Macca was not existent today for whatever. Maybe was gassed. Mullen ran around, didn't do too much. Andy Cannon did have a good second half. First half for me wasn't great. Now, listen, I don't know shit, but I'm just sorry. I know we're all monetized here. I apologize. But for me, I would go O'Connell. I think he's most solid for me. Sorry about that. I don't mean to swear on both of our channels.
No, it's all good. You sound like a Canadian, man, with all the apologies so far today.
Oh, hey. Well, I've been around my in-laws. They're from Minnesota, and they're from Minnesota, so it's the kindness, the close to the border,
And so, Ken, did you have a preference?
Yeah, for me, it was probably Cannon, but to be honest, there was no real standout. O'Connell had a slow first half and then played great after. Hey.
There you go. There's the.
How was golf? How was golf?
I just brought him his breakfast.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, Minnesota run. There you go. Who's your man of the match?
Where?
Yeah, who was the man? No, the match. There you go. Yeah, done.
How was his golf game today?
Well, good luck for dealing with this guy.
See that?
Yeah.
All right.
And actually, even though we've made the arc that today's game was a representation of the season as it was, selecting man of the match and how standouts, it sort of is emblematic of our status with picking a player of the season.
Yes.
I mean, I think you could. I've seen John's mentioned Lee. That would be my vote. I understand a lot of people with Mullen. I've heard a lot of people say McLean, despite the yellow cards. Cannon obviously getting a lot of support. Ogonkwo, Cleworth, Stash. If Stash didn't get injured, probably was man of the match until he went down and got injured. There's so many people that were there. I voted Lee and Cleworth for the young player. Did you guys have votes separate than that?
I did Cannon.
Oh, sorry, Deandro.
Go, Deandro. We'll follow along in a loop and come back to Ruby.
So both for match and for the season, I voted Cannon, and then Cleworth for the season for young player. I think this is one of those games again, which has become fairly typical of Wrexham, where you cannot easily pick one out that has been more outstanding than the others.
especially when they contribute such different skills at times that really assist the team overall, but aren't necessarily comparable. I agree with Deandra on that. So are we on young player right now?
Yeah, well, you can both.
Oh,
And I was
she's back.
gonna go.
I wasn't sure how long that'd be.
So sorry. Had to deal with Her Majesty over there.
Yeah, no, I've been there before, and I was like, should I find the mute button on this one? Ken, go ahead. Let's go around the ring this way. Ken, who did you have?
For you want this game or the season?
No, the season. Both
season?
player of the season and young player of the season.
Young player of the season, full stop. Clearworth, definitely been the best young player. Player of the season, probably Lee. He got us through the dog days in the middle of the season. When we had players out injured, Stash, Evans. Start of the season, he stepped up when Mullen was down. So for me, he racked up so many points through the first 2/3 of the season that I think it would have to be Lee.
Yep. Josh?
I go. Elliot Lee. Elliot Lee for the player of the season could have been Mulls if Mulls was there. Dog Days, he said that correctly. But then Maxi, hands down, no other player about for sure. Can I share something with the people of the?
Absolutely.
This is Fraz. I don't know if you can see that. Fraz is literally right under Rob. That's where she sits.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
That's
She
so
put that in
cool.
the
Great
Discord.
shot, Fraz. Well done.
Yep, that's fantastic. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to bogart, but yes, it's definitely Maxi and Elliot Lee, and then Mulls right behind him for sure.
Yeah,
and Cannon, his second half of the season was spectacular. 100%.
Yeah, and that's what if Evans, I could see why people would say the same thing as Cannon. People were higher on Cannon earlier on in the season than I was, but by the end certainly came around on him for sure because I didn't see the consistency until later on in the season.
John brings up
Jesse?
a chance. Oh. Sorry. Yeah. What do you think there?
Oh, you ready for me?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a real struggle, I think, for all the reasons that we've all mentioned. And I feel like I've taken so many polls or cast so many votes in the last few weeks, it's hard to remember necessarily what I chose. But when it comes to criteria, I've never seen an actual checklist of what determines what's supposed to be a man of the match or a man of the season. And so for me, I'm going with James McLean. He's my absolute favorite. I appreciate him as a human being. I appreciate him on the pitch in whichever role he plays. So I think most of us prefer to have him in the middle as far as performance and what he delivers from there. But I also appreciate a level of leadership and perhaps mentorship that he brings to, his best mate, Andy Cannon, and the banter even off the pitch on social media. He's so charming, and the conditioning. I mean, the guy, he's not even human. He's superhuman. So for me, player of the season, James McLean, and that is using my own criteria that I make up of mostly sentimental, but other aspects of being a well-rounded person versus just the performance on the pitch. For me, young player was tough. I went with Arthur. To me, I can't imagine what our season would have been like without the level of consistency that he delivered. And it was tough because, again, different skill sets that these terrific players contribute. It's sometimes apples to oranges, though it's all coming to the same fruit basket. But yeah, my vote for Young was Arthur.
Wow.
I'm with you on McLean on not just sentimental reasons on quality. I mean, I think for most people, a lot of the reason why he was disqualified was not because of performance, but was because just the suspensions and the frequent yellow cards.
Yeah.
And so there is a legitimate argument on what he contributed to team that gets McLean into season. And same with Ogonko. I mean, for me, there's question. Lone player. Do you give it to a lone player? And did he earn it compared to Cleworth? And it's for me, it's the same reason I went with Cleworth over Ogonko is if without Cleworth on that right hand side to nail it down and to earn that spot and to be there as consistently as he was.
Very fair.
I felt like we had to, but it's a weird season. I don't recall this in any team I've ever followed where you can look at it legitimately afterwards and go, there are 7 to 8 legitimate options to be player of the season.
Spoiled for choices.
I'm just going to interrupt here, as is the normal case on the Saturdays, and I'm going to have to reschedule this in the future. I've got commitments with my little one Josh, if you do want to keep this going for 10, 20, 30 minutes, that's fine. If we want to shut it down in 10 minutes, then we'll have to do that. I'll leave that to your discretion.
I can do it. You got to jump.
You can do it. Yeah. So if you wanted to, I'm going to bring Sheldon in, who's logged in, and we'll chat with him just really quick.
Sorry, I want to leave. I have to go. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Deandra, awesome. And if you do want to, anybody who wants to leave, feel free to let me know. You can click off. I'll deal with you. We're all good. It's a pleasure having you, Deandra, and thanks so much again for joining and for being a part of the whole Wrexham community.
Bye, hon. Good to see you.
Bye, girl. Bye.
Bye.
I say Wrexham community as I'm a Wrexhamite myself. But the Wrexham club community, the global Wrexham community. Sheldon, how are you?
Hello. Busy, tired, sore.
Been moving all week.
My new apartment all week. So.
Oh yeah. I don't want that joy. Unfortunately, I won't have to worry about Wrexham stuff going on while that's all happening. I'm hoping. But you were able to take this one in, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I was watching it. I jumped on as well with the guys.
Yeah. So let's hear your thought, your take, any insight, anything that you've maybe missed or didn't catch from us chatting about that you felt you needed to talk about.
No, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. They pulled through in the end. Cannon's goal was a screamer. Talking about player of the year, yeah, lots of options there for everybody. Young player, definitely Clewert for me. I think simply because of the age, the amount he has progressed and how he stands up to the senior players. I think Clewert deserves it. Although Okonkwo obviously very, very close behind for me.
Yeah, I get that.
On that side.
And you were something that you said triggered. We were talking about. I can't remember.
Sorry.
That's on me. What popped into my head while you were talking, and I can't remember the link to it, is I was talking to the play-by-play guy on Twitter for the Vancouver Whitecaps, and he was talking about drinking games. And
right.
And maybe this is from Josh sending the message and talking about doing.
Yeah, sorry.
And so I'm connecting with him, but I'm actually I'll be at the game obviously, but I'm gonna do a restream or a watch along of the rewatch. Like I'm gonna watch it separately the day following, largely because we've been talking about, and there's gonna be a drinking game every time he says the word sheep during the Canadian broadcast. I said I was gonna take a drink, and he agreed on Twitter and said he was committed to doing that. So he's going to be dropping the word sheep. So for Canadians, you can feel free to take part either live or you can join in with me the following day.
How about when you're at the game, I'll do a watch along, and then I'll do it on your channel and my channel, and so we can both have it up there for your team.
Let's do that. And Josh, I'm gonna come back, but if you can just take over on your end, just for a moment, I have something to deal with here.
I got you, brother. Okay, Michael Hillier says, was Cannon this good at Stockport? Can't believe they let him leave. So does anyone know a little bit more about him, about when he was there? Probably not. I would say he's probably young players. Anyone have that information out there? Ken?
No, I never saw him at Stockport. I never watched any Stockport games before he came over to Wrexham. Did you see him, Sheldon, at all?
Sorry, I was listening to my kids in the background.
Sorry, Sheldon. I was just saying, did you ever see Cannon at Stockport? Because I never did.
No, I didn't. I don't recall seeing Cannon. If he was there, he didn't impress.
This might be the comment of the day, by the way, from Fraz. Good, Fraz, come on, Fraz. We need you to come on. I don't care if it's in your car. Come on. She says, "Oh my God, the Stockport fans brought inflatable sheep with them."
Oh, that's common. Yeah, that's common at a lot of matches. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. I can't see all of
Raymond's comment about Cannon's foot is a howitzer. That one's pretty solid too. Josh, I think I'm going to go ahead and bow out. I might pop into the chat, but I really appreciate being able to spend some time with you all. And good to see you again, Sheldon and Ken, and probably catch you on the next one.
Yeah, I do not have the controls right now, so
you can't kick me out.
No, you can
exit yourself.
Just exit myself and it'll take it off.
Yeah, exit stage left. So bombshell. There you go.
I'm glad to hear you're well and safe.
Yeah, that's all that really matters too.
I could be up for a drinking game for that match. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
because it'd be my nighttime here.
Yeah, nighttime. I'll be up for that too. By the way, France is saying that she had eye contact with Rob. I'm just saying in the Discord with Rob. Yeah, so
they've got a connection.
there's definitely a connection. I don't know. By the way, Fraz says, "What's up, Shelton?" Okay, what else we got here? We talked about man of the match. We did some other things too. Cannon and he didn't look down. Was that goal better than his other goal, the team goal that I think is the team of this, the game of the season?
No.
Sorry, the goal of the season? No.
He was in the other goal. He was in full flight, and when the ball came across and just let loose, that was unbelievable.
Bar the fact that the power he put behind it, it was a pretty standard goal, albeit an amazing goal. He got in the right position. They got a nice pass breaking through on the box. So it was a great goal. It just wasn't particularly surprising. That's what should be happening regularly.
They had the keeper no time today with that force.
Oh yeah, that's a hard one to react to with that sort of power. You get your hands on it, but if you can't hold your wrist,
probably didn't feel it.
Yeah, it's hard. There's nothing you can do there.
No, it's going to be great for us now, but going to be very interesting now with the playoffs. Like Barrow definitely killed themselves this season. They missed it. Like I said earlier in the week, they were going to miss out, but like for the last month, they've been terrible.
Do we have the updated? Who are the four? I know Shell's on it usually. I can't touch things, or else I'll screw up with the restream.
Okay, so MK Dons, they will be playing Crawley Town in 7th. Doncaster Rovers will be playing Crewe in 6th.
Okay. Do we have dates on those?
If we do, I paid no attention to them because
I can give you those in.
They should be up.
Yes. I'll be able to get you those.
Another question too. Are those home and aways or those straight ups?
Yeah, the home and away for the first one, then a final match.
Whoa!
Afterwards for the two winners.
Oh, we got stuff to do. Go ahead.
7th of May for the first games. They are same time.
Okay. On 7th of May.
Yep, and then not same day, different times. I can't. Well, the times in Australia are different, so the same time as today's game, and then 2.5 hours later for the next game.
Okay.
And then the 10th of May is the return leg of the first game, which I'd say would be MK Dons game. And
so you're saying May 7th, Tuesday.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Same time as today for the first game, and then 2.5 hours later for the second game.
Okay.
So you actually can
watch both.
You can watch both. Yeah.
Well, we'll do shows on them for sure. Those. Do you want a time? Probably. We have probably not time. But okay, that's okay. So good. The 7th, and then it's a Friday, and then it's a Tuesday and a Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. The follow-up games are a Friday and Saturday, the 10th and 11th.
And then
that's my time. That's my time. So that's
winners should then go to Wembley for the final.
Yes,
which will be 18th
for a single match. That's the great experience of playoffs. You get Wembley for the final match.
Yeah, which is 20th of May my time, which I think might be the 19th of May for you guys.
Okay, let me see. I might switch over here to try to get the controls. I think he had to go full stop. Shoot. Let me. Sorry, Shell. You want to just, or both you guys want to just keep going here? I'm trying to.
So, Shell, what do you reckon? I mean, obviously the form says it should be MK and Doncaster through to the final, but who knows?
Yeah, that would be the expectation. I don't want MK Dons to win just because of the history. Simple as that. I'm with everybody else. Fuck MK Dons and their cheating, stealing.
I love your passion, Shell. Love
it. But then, wouldn't it be nice for Crawley Town to win through and then get relegated again next year? So, and we have one team that we're guaranteed not to worry about. They're a good team now, but I just don't think they'll be able to level up the same way we will with our spending in the summer.
Cool.
So I'm not worried about them. Because I do think Stockport and Mansfield can level up quite significantly. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
so
definitely. Well,
so they would potentially be enemies next year. You know, they could be fighting us and doing us damage.
Stockport will be a threat. Mansfield, I think, can be a threat. But
Maybe not
also
as much. Yeah, I
not
don't
as
think they're going
much.
to do as much in the summer. I don't think they will do as much in the summer, but we'll see.
And Mansfield's budget,
Stockport's issue is they have a lot of loan players, though. That's their issue. They have good support. They have good money backing behind them, and they may pop out some more cash to buy players or whatever. But Stockport have been taking a lot of loan players. They brought in more for the second half of the season after January as well. A couple of months later, they took in another couple of young guys. So they have a lot of links for loan players, and that's likely what they'll do next year, which simply puts them in the position. It depends on what loans they get. You know, loans can either work out and be excellent, or they can be trash.
Mansfield would have to spend a significant amount of more money than what they have. Like they're under 5 million for their squad at the moment, which is very low.
Yeah, I was listening to some of their podcasts, and they were speculating they need to spend 7 million.
Yep. And I think.
Sorry,
you go, Josh.
You guys hear me? You guys can hear me. I just had to switch over to the chat to get the keys. But I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, cool, good.
Yeah. Awesome. And there, Michael as well. Stockport will get a lot of loan players. Exactly. They have the links. They're very friendly with some big clubs. They do take their younger players and kind of treat them as being a feeder club. So they are likely to get some very good loans now back in League One. And this is what we should be doing as well. Now, of course, we are a named club, a brand club. So if you want your young player who is potentially worth a lot of money in the future to get recognized and to get TV time and everything else, it would be a good idea to loan them to Wrexham. Because, of course, we're going to take in players, whether we buy them or whether they're simply all out of contract and more senior players. We should be looking to utilize some loans. The way I would be looking to do that is maybe in the positions where we feel we have our first team player, we should certainly be looking for a young player to challenge them. Someone to come in and say, right, this is the level you need to be at. Beat Elliot Lee. You know, prove your worth, or Cannon, or whoever. You know, this is your target. You better be better than them. And when you get your opportunity, you better shine. And then maybe they can jump into first team. That is obviously possible, and that is the point of bringing in the loan players.
Well, it's gonna be a long, like, summer starts now. I know we can enjoy. Actually, summer starts tomorrow. Or actually, it already has started. Like I said, and so it begins. We're already being linked to players. It's gonna be the whole thing for the whole summer. You know, we're gonna pick through those bones all summer, as you know. But you know, like, to your point, I'd love to see some younger players in there. We just need to see what's going to happen. You know, how we're going to going about it. You know, they're already talking to players and everything like that. So August 10th is the goal. All the stuff going on to Vancouver and here in California and in Vegas. You know, it's August 10th, and that's what we need to put our focus on. Aaron's in the house. He says, hey guys, and also Matt Al says, what a game. He was there. Matt Al was at the game with Greg as well. How was the game? How was the game for you? Michael Hillier also says, actual date Arthur can stay, if staying or not, I think is June, but that's ages away. Yeah, it's really not.
No, it's like May next week.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks, and not everybody will wait till the end of that window as well to release people. They'll just go ahead and release them once they know what they're doing. Some of them,
and I think we'll be spending 3 million comfortably. I'd say definitely 2, but I think we'll be closer to 3 million we'll spend in this.
This is a very, very interesting question. What exactly are they going to do? Because they could buy nobody. They could go down the road of getting some loans, and then they could buy just pay wages for the players out of contract, ex-lower league Prem or top-end championship, and not buy anybody, and then all the figures are hidden. You know, how
Parker's
much
allergic to loans.
I know he is, but he's now up in League One. I do not think, I have no trust in being able to get the amount of players we need without doing loans. I don't see it.
How many? They have like a bunch of people out of contract, which is great. But great, we need to get sorted out. But
Well, it makes the decisions easier. That
true.
Yeah,
But,
and
go ahead, Shell. Sorry.
earlier I mentioned as well, it might, in preference, if you could keep some players on standby and say kind of, okay, well, we won't release you till later so that we can see if you're needed and then bring you in as the backup. Re-up their contracts. But they all get released at the start of the season, to be fair to them. They have to go and look around as well. So it's going to be really, really hard. You have to make your choice, because how are you going to release someone and then go back to them 2 months later and say, well, actually, you're good enough to be second string. Do you want to come back? That's not going to look good to anybody in that scenario. But in my mind, there are a couple of players that I feel we should be letting go that are in that scenario, where if we're stuck, I would keep them and bring them in and try and use them as the backup player, But what do? You have to release them. So we'll see where that ends up.
the question that's down that Addison posed about Ogonko being back. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos that are out there. I'm sure that you have, of Ogonko post promotion and being screamed at by the Wrexham fans, signed a thing. And to me, he looked, and I don't know his personality that well. We're not live. Sheldon, you have been for one game. I haven't been to be able to see his personality and what comes out. But the reaction that he had was either one of two things. He's just a reserved human being who doesn't like having the spotlight shone upon him, and he was just sort of being passive and dismissive and not really that interested. Or to the contract signing stuff, he wasn't that interesting, and it just didn't connect with him, and he was having a tough time feigning interest. A, did you see the videos? B, do you agree with my assessment? And C, do you think he'll be back? Because for me, when I watched the videos, I said, I don't think he's going to come back. I want him back.
I go on his Twitch, by the way. I'm on his Twitch regularly. He's a kind of reserved guy. He's also like into other things. Like he has like companies he's into, but so he's a very reserved guy, because it comes on his Twitch all the time, sign the thing all the time. Okay. And if you're not following him on Twitch, go watch him. He's very interesting. But he's 22 years old. Sorry, Sheldon. Go ahead.
No, you're okay. Yeah, I kind of agree. He definitely looks like he's very, very reserved in general. Even when he was signing for people and stuff, he was happy to do it. He was smiling in the whole process, but he didn't look like one of those players that reveled in it. And in the background videos, the little bits we see of him, he tends to be a little bit in the background or off to the side. He's not obviously running into the mix the way some of the players are. So yeah, I think he's very much reserved in that way. So I would not be surprised at all if he re-signs with us.
Yeah.
On that note, too, think about it. He's 22 years old. There's some veterans in there. Body language, everything. You don't want to be the face of the. You're not the face of the team, pretty much. So he's got to be a little intimidated.
I was more annoying at 22 than I am at 47.
Yeah, he's a young guy. I think the body language, like you're right, Sean. The body language in that sort of said not staying, but I wouldn't read a lot into that yet. It's going to be sit down with the manager, sit down and figure it out, what's going on. Because I think there's definitely a possibility he could stay. When you think about your guaranteed game time, he still needs to develop. It's just a matter of whether there's these teams. He goes to a Premier League team, he's not getting started. He's not getting starts. Goes to a Championship team, he might be getting some starts, but that's a big decision for his future.
Yeah,
but wait a year and you could be in the Championship. He really could. We could go up to 3. I know
it's only 1 year, Josh. 1 year. 1 year we're there.
1 year we're there. 1 year.
Well, I have another comment there. And what do you think of this one? Obviously, if it was kind of all done and dusted except the signing, because you have to wait till a couple of weeks or whatever. If you had decided to stay and you're the kind of reserved player who doesn't get in the mix too much like this, and you're told you can't mention this, you can't talk about this, you can't do anything, and you know The first person that comes up to you, they're going to ask, are you going to stay? Are you going to stay? Will you sign next year? You know, so if you're that type of reserved person, the easier thing to do is to back off a bit and say nothing, because it's in your wheelhouse anyway. You're kind of comfortable being on the back side of it. So, you know, that could also make him even more reserved if he knows he wants to come back, and maybe he's boiling inside, and I'd love to tell people, you know, but I'm not fucking this up.
And look,
Thought I never had.
That can go both ways too, though, because when players are leaving, they don't want to say anything either. But I hope you're right, Sheldon, because I'd like to see him stay.
Yeah,
I know one person who's staying.
Oh, and he's biting
I
his
do
tongue.
too.
The conversation you're having earlier, Sheldon, about what the Rob and Ryan are going to do going into next year, I think what fascinates me about it is they're also the club is sustainable on a go forward basis financially.
Yeah,
and they've got the turnover to be able to do things. They're in an interesting dynamic, and I don't like talking about the documentary as to its relationship with the club. I consider them two separate apart, but I'd be foolish to say that there's not influences, because they're capturing more and more fans the more that the documentary is out there. The higher they climb, the more that they're able to make a name for themselves. And back to back for the first time as an EFL club gets you something that nobody else in the history of the EFL has done. Do they go big just so that they're able to capture as many fans and draw them from documentary into club support for a go forward, and they stretch the expenses a little bit, because that's an option there. I guess we'll find out, but I don't know if you guys have thought about the influence of, like, how do they capture the biggest pot that they can before the documentary interest starts to decline and they're left with those of us that are there that have now invested in the club and we're here to stay.
Okay. Yeah, and if you think about it, and this is very smart by Rob and Ryan, this summer, LA, San Francisco, Vancouver, massive centers trying to drive membership, trying to drive revenue. You know, like, that's where the money is going to come from, getting more members and selling more merchandise. That's going to be big, you know, on top of what the show does. You know, to fill the stadium every week earns you a lot of money. If you go and get, and I'm going to use a big number here, 100,000 new members at $15 a pop, and they all buy a jersey, that's $65 per person. That's 65 million. You know, that's $6.5 million.
They would. So everyone talks about, like, another glamour, like, owner signing, whether it be like Wolverine or even like Taylor Swift, because they're friends, whatever. If they're going to go and do the next levels, I think they can. You know, you need, like, serious money. But do they throw it out, like, next year and really put it in to get to the championship? I'd like to see that. And I don't know Rob or Ryan, but you're right, Sean. Great point. 3 on the bounce. No one's done it before. Maybe Luton. Has Luton done it? I'm not sure.
No one in the EFL.
No,
it's
no
only been done in
3.
England. It's only been done.
They've done it in the lower leagues.
Yes, in the lower
not
leagues,
in the EFL.
not
In the EFL.
Yep. Listen, I said it last night. Why not go for it? You know, like, there was like, why not? You know, why not? Why not go for it? And I'd rather be in the championship for a couple of years, because I think it's the best league. I actually think it's one of the best leagues in the world. And you do that, you never know. But again, we're putting a card against the horse. We got to see what we're going to do this summer, you know, and it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I have to bounce here because I've got commitments. Yeah, but Josh is going to stay here, and the local pundit is going to take over. And so I'm appreciative. Take as long as you want, as little as you want. Do your thing, and it's in good hands. And so I'm super appreciative. If you're on my channel, make sure you go over there and hit subscribe to all the people. There's links in my description. Give those people a bump. I am 13 away from 2,000. I'm happy to get that number while I'm away, because I just think that'd be a fun way to wrap up the day. So if you're not on the Red Horde, or you're watching Twitter or whatever, just for quickly, and then go back home to where you're supposed to be, or where you're not supposed to be, where you started. I don't want to take anybody, but let's get the bump up if we get the chance. Just before I wrap up, we're back on. I'm doing a watch along for the women's match against Cardiff City, so I'll get those ones up there right away. For my members that are watching, we're going to have a members only meet and greet to talk about what we do with the plans and the upcoming season. And I'm starting to put together Vancouver travel stuff, which probably will include a live where I'll just end up talking about like what Vancouver is and get the feel for what people want to do. And I'm calling the pub hopefully sometime this afternoon to see if we've got a pub. I'll hint at it in case somebody wants to criticize it, if anybody knows. I think after the poll I ran, people were talking proximity and size, and so that makes it the sports bar at Rogers Arena, which is the hockey rink. It's a brand new 14,000 square foot pub. It's 5-minute walk away. It's a little bit pricier, but they'd be down to host us, and I don't think it's a block off the main drag, and so I think that exclusivity would be great for us. So that's who I'm calling. And if I secure it, I will let everybody know. And that's going to be me for the day. Thanks to Josh and Sheldon and Ken for being here, Deandra and to Jesse and Andrew, who everybody logged in. And after 90 minutes, we'll start again next year and during the preseasons, except for my game in Vancouver. All right. Much love. And I'm signing off. Take care, everybody. And that subscribe button. Thank you.
Hit that subscribe. Get them to 13. Let's do it. Get them to 13 more. Get them to 2,000. Awesome.
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Have a good day with the fam. Awesome. That's Sean Red Horde. Fantastic guy. Yes. Get him to 2,000. Let's go. Smash that. If you're coming over from any of the channels, come over and smash that like button and get him to 2,000. That's a huge, huge victory. So I think it'll happen. So yes. John says, don't shut your alarms.
Right. Let's continue that story, that question, because
which one?
I think next season they need to do a statement signing, talking about keeping everything going forward and whatever. We don't need to do a lot in regards to marketing on that side of it, because we can have would be deemed a very poor summer, as long as we have a couple of good players, because the media is going to run with back to back to back, and they're going to beat that dead horse until it's actually completely dead. And I mean, literally, we have no mathematical way of getting into the playoffs. And that's, in theory, as long as we do decent signings, we can be mathematically close to the playoffs for a long time. So they are going to talk about that forever. All we need to do is feed them a little bit of red meat. So we need a statement signing. And I think it's about time anyway.
I think so. Sorry, I'll get past the Canada. But I said, you want the dressing room guys, but like I want someone with a little bit of a Macca, and I think Ken, you mentioned at some point too, a little bit of a Macca, a little younger, someone who's kind of sexy. Like, oh, how did we get him? I don't know, Ken. I know you put the big spreadsheet together. I would show it, but I don't have the full keys here. But I know,
Yeah, look, Sheldon's nailed that right on the head. We need that marquee player. We need somebody, and we need somebody that people go, oh my God, like that guy, what's he doing in League One? He should be playing definitely in the Championship, maybe on the edge of the Prem, because that would then be something that would make people stand up, and just another point to draw the eyes to Wrexham, because, they're in a massive, massive growth phase right now, and they're not stopping. So, we need to I honestly think they'll be going hard for the push to get to Championship. There's no.
Let me just roll this out real quick before Sheldon goes in. Less than half. Ryan and Rob are not putting their monies anymore. There's enough investment coming outside. Yeah. Their initial investment was the money. Now they're finding new. They're very clever bringing things in. So that I don't think it's Ryan or Rob's money anymore. So it's about how they bring it in. What thoughts on that, Michelle?
Yeah, they're spending the income they have, and their income is fairly significant. It's majorly significant, actually. Sorry, guys, 1 sec. I'm gonna come back.
And Sheldon's right. Their income is majorly significant, and they've set their business up with the LLC in America, and the Welcome to Wrexham show goes into that, and that money's going straight back to the club, which they're happy to do, and and that's funding. When the financials came out a couple of months ago, they were last year's financials, not this year. So, basically, if you looked at those, double them, and that's roughly what they've earned this year. And I see a comment just in there, Mark Griffiths come on saying they're actually starting to tear down the temporary stand.
Oh, that actually happened. When we were on, they saw people were filing out, and there was guys up there taking the stand down.
Yeah, because there has been talk about that redesign, for it to be redesigned so that it can be more like a stadium. And that's all part of this forward progress that these guys are doing. You know,
Yep.
I mean, it's just like there's a whole business plan in place: academy, stadium, players, promotion. They're thinking on so many more levels than what even we are.
Yeah, it's like they're building a world. You know, they're building their whole world. And we talk about it on the show a lot too, on the pundit, where it's like some of the stuff isn't sexy. It's like, you know, when you change the oil in your car, you change your brakes. It does on the outside. It doesn't look great, but the inside, you know, the structure and things like that, you know, are going to make a difference. You know, so there's something to that for sure. Parky's been working on next year's team since January. I think he has a few lined up. He's done that with National League roster. Yeah, I mean, so. Shell, you were in the middle of something before you left. If you want to pick back up.
Yeah, I was saying we have the money there, and I think the logical thing for them to do is to spend it all. Now, don't put in extra money. Don't go over the limits to have more and more debt, because we need to pay back the debt we have, but there's no rush on that. But now that we have the income coming in, just spend it right now and build the team. And the reason I say this, yeah.
I was saying there's good debt and there's bad debt. You know, there's good debt and there's bad. You know, so yeah, I think. Yeah,
but they can walk away from 9 million, and it's not going to hurt them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're not worried about that. Yeah, and pay it.
What's the club worth?
But,
you know what I mean? At this point, go ahead. Sorry.
But from a club point of view, the reason I say spend everything you're earning right now is because basically the club is self-sustaining pretty much, and it's currently on an upswing. So if for some reason Robin Ryan quit and just stopped, all we need to do is stop spending more and more, and the income we have is enough to continue ongoing. Just pull that spending back, and you're perfectly fine. And if we are starting from a decent and strong team, you can sit in the league, like League One, right? Let's say we put in a decent chunk of money now, which we should do because we don't have a brand new League One team. But if we don't make it next year, what's going to happen? We're going to sit in the league. We're going to make a ton more money again. And then next year, you don't need to spend max money. You can spend a little bit less. And then your team's even better again. And then you have another shot at it. And another shot at it. And that's what teams do. And our income will generate that.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, this one, it goes to Shell. I'll pass to you first. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, sure. Look, yeah, and there's so much validation there, and you talk about like the 9 million that they're owed, which is not a lot of money. And what you've then got to remember is with that, how much have they made in extra sales in Aviation Gin, Four Walls Whiskey, Betty Buzz? How much have they grown those brands? They look at this as a whole process. You know, they've increased the revenue of their other streams that they sponsor the club with. And then on top of that, you know, just look at the things that they're doing for all these, the whole squad. So the academy, all getting all their kits now. Like there was something there on another show the other day about that. You know, the women's team, how much better they're looked after and the growth of that. And this is all just part of the full growth of, you know, of a whole brand that is Wrexham Football Club.
Well, the interesting thing is the 8-9 million that's owed to them. Now, as far as I'm aware with the figures, there's nothing in the accounting figures from the football club to show payments from the TV show. So if that's correct, and if there's nothing coming in from the show, Rob and Ryan have made their money already from the TV show. That's not even counting.
I know the budget of the show. I know the budget of the show, but I mean, I think it's in that area.
Okay, but they're making more than that. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is they're earning money from the show itself, which is a direct contributor of owning the football club. So they've maybe are getting close to earning their 8-9 million back just from the show alone. And then the club is feeding off the show because it's bringing people in and they're buying their jerseys, they're setting up their memberships, they're doing the iFollows and all of that. So they're feeding off each other, even if it's not taking money directly. So they're already happy with that 8 or 9 million. You know,
so let me run that at you. So those are just brass numbers, right? They're shooting in the UK, so there's already they're 30% tax rebate there too. So they're getting it back. So they're shooting an $8 million, $10 million show, whatever it is. Maybe it's so they're shooting it for about $4 million back. So they're getting the rebates back there. And they're for for payroll and things like that, whatever qualifies. But there's a great tax rebate in UK. They shoot in UK, so whatever they're shooting the show, it's like half of it too. So those facts. So I think that whatever the show costs is irrelevant. What they're making back on it, merch, everything else, is way, way, way above. So I don't know if that goes into the budget, but it just shows that the show is almost free. That's why Rob's show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is about FX in the last 16 seasons. It's such a cheap show to make. Yes, it's a big ATL above the line, but it's just a cheap show to make. It's in one's place. It's on a set. So all those factors coming in, the show is almost like sidebar. It's like, but the money, what you're saying, Sheldon and Ken, they're making off of other things. Nothing's coming out of Robin Ryan's pocket. But yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and all the fans want to see is more players, better players, pushing for promotion, and not only us. That's what they want.
Yep.
Like they get to the championship. It's like, guys, we're one step away from the Premier League.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
But okay, did the club financial report show how much the outside are? I haven't seen that.
No, it didn't.
No.
No, and they don't have to, and they purposely don't do that. That's why it's an LLC in America.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the show different from. Yes, I'm saying. Yeah, but Sheldon's making great points too, for sure, and so is Ken.
But you my point is you would actually expect the TV show to pay Wrexham fees for filming, licensing, whatever. Yeah, and we don't see that in the financial records. So that's what I mean. So that income. That they're not paying the club, which I know they own anyway, but that's beside the point. They're earning income in hidden in the background. They're making it from the show instead of from the football club. So
advertising
companies do this all the time. They have 10 different companies and they decide which one makes the profit, which one suits them better to make the profit. And maybe from year to year they make profit in different companies, and all. It's just playing shell games. So that's kind of irrelevant, but the fact is we have money, and what I'm saying is we don't want to increase our debt to Robin Ryan but we shouldn't need to, because at this stage we're generating enough income.
They're definitely no risks. Sorry, Ken, what were you saying?
No, well, Andy's just posting there like that. If it was your 9 million, what it's got to remember is they're 9 million, but they also have the club, and this is irrelevant. Like there was talk earlier in the year about Robin Ryan are going to get out of the club. Robin Ryan, they'll still own Wrexham 10, 20 years from now. Like this is a legacy thing, especially for Rob. It's this is like one of his lifelong dreams was to own a sports team.
Yep.
He's not going anywhere.
And I think
they want to create
the increasing
a legacy.
value. They bought it for $2 million. I don't know what's the value on it too. Like they'll make that money back. It's not and this is all, obviously not, we're all just kind of just having a great conversation about it. But too, it's like the $9 million, yeah, it's a lot of money, but to a football club, it's not, because they're the club is worth more. The value of the club is so much worth more. We could put it into the summer. So it's going to be, listen, we had a great season. It was a great run to this, and it only grows it. If we can go 3 on the bounce, back to back to back, I think it's really impressive. I'm just grateful that we all got to be a part of it, and it's really.
And we're not in the playoffs, I mean, Sheldon's going to go away now and be cheering for MK Dons for the next couple of weeks.
If we're ready to move on, there was a comment earlier I didn't get to talk about. It was mentioned on the hot take that they're already starting to take down the stand. The cop temporary stand. Now, obviously, the immediate assumption there is that that's because they're going to start building. I wouldn't think so, actually. The reason I would expect that they're taking down the cop immediately is they need to put in a new pitch, and that is where all the work comes in from. They have the big gates, they have all the maintenance area, and that whole area will become maintenance.
Yeah,
it'll take days.
No
not
days,
even days.
Yeah,
2 days that'll be gone out the door.
Yeah.
They're much quicker to come down than go up, and even they're not slow to go up either. Those guys are paid a fortune for doing that quick.
It's quick. Yeah, you're right, Sheldon. Very quick to do temporary stands,
Yeah.
all the time.
So I would not be surprised if that's coming down simply for the work on the pitch to allow easy access, and that'll go back up in the week before we start next season.
Yeah, I think we're good there. Sorry,
Yeah.
but I think
Did I hear right, Josh, that the tech end's now going to be rebranded the local pundit stand? Is that right?
Not yet. Not yet. No, not yet. Someday, maybe someday. We shall see. We shall see. But we have a lot to. I know this. I got to jump to, but I want to get everyone on. I'm hoping that everyone smashes a like on both sides of things for the Red Horde, the local pundit. Ken and Sheldon will be here all summer doing our thing and sharing the burden of walking through all of this, which is going to be great. I'm really excited about that. So we can pick those bones about it. But yes, what else? I'll give last words before we jump off. And sorry, I have to go too. I apologize. I had to do too. But yes, Ken, last words.
Last words, fantastic. We've been promoted another season. What a great way to finish the year. You can't be any happier than that. Looking forward to us in League One, 2 years ago, not even in the leagues. Now, League One and 1 year away from the championship. Fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah. Sheldon.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting summer. I can't wait to look at all these potential signings. I bet you we're going to be buying Ronaldo there somewhere during the summer. The stories are going to be ridiculous. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some great content out during the summer. So anyone who's interested in the nitty gritty of everything, and those who want to maybe learn about League One teams, I'll be looking to do some videos this summer.
Yep.
And I've been talking to Josh about it, so there will be lots of content during the summer from the local pundit team and all of us.
Yep, you will not be left alone. We will be in your faces all summer long for sure. Yes, for the group and Ken and Sheldon and Ivan when he has time as well. By the way, Aaron says I used to. Let me just get this in before we go. Sorry, this is very. I thought this is good. Aaron says, "There you go." But I used to build those things for a living. They should have that down in 2 days max. Very easy to tear down. I think that's pretty good. There you go.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So that's awesome. All right. So cool. We will. Cheers. Have a good weekend. Dazzle Publishing too. Another great channel. Oh, Dazzle Publishing too. I didn't know if he was linked there, but yes, Dazzle Publishing. Smash a like on everyone's videos and all the good stuff. And that's support of all. It's a great community. Sheldon, congrats on your new house. And that's awesome, man. And keep me posted if you need anything on my end for sure. All right.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
All right, brother. All right.
Night, everyone.
Later. That's Sheldon, his new house. Awesome to him. Ken, my guy. When you want to break down that thing, you just let me know.
Yeah, happy to. We'll set up some schedule for the summer. We've got lots to talk about. We're going to be almost busier in the summer than we were through the season.
Yeah, so you're coming up for the Santa Clara game, is that correct?
No, mate, no. I'm not getting all the way I'm not traveling 14 hours from Australia. Unfortunately,
you don't want to hang with me? What did I do wrong? Yeah.
No, I'm coming to you in November. Remember?
Yeah, I know, but yeah, we're gonna have to watch along together, like side by side, like two stepbrothers.
Oh, I think that's going to be killer. Stepbrothers. There we go. Will and
Awesome. All right, man. Good to see you. Good to see your face. Happy to have you on. Awesome. That's Ken, legend. Get some rest, brother.
Yeah, thanks. Time for bed.
All right. Enjoy your golf game.
Thanks.
Bye. Okay, it's just me now. What happened? What did I do? Should we do a whole nother hour? Should we just go off the rails right now and just do a whole nother hour? Should we do that? I don't even know. I think we should. Who wants to do another hour? Nah, I got to spend some time with the family. All right. That was a great game. Got the W. Can see you in Wrexham one day. Says yes. Absolutely. Let's see here. What do you guys make about Ollie Palmer rattling the other day about comments about County? It seems he's rattled during the Guard of Honor. People can interpret that. We'll dig that out. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that. Ken, you're in Wrexham one day. Hit him straight, Ken. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. He says he's a scratch golfer. I don't know. He says he's a scratch golfer. We will see. All right, got the W. Last game of the season. Look, let me bring this home as best as I can. I think it's been an amazing season. I think it's been, like I said earlier, it's indicative, and I'll talk about this on the Wrexham reaction probably tomorrow, of the game was today is like, didn't start out great. We got punched in the mouth. We fought back. Then we ended up having some really great moments, and we ended up winning a match today. I think that's exactly what happened to our actual season. That's the story that happened, and I think today's game was exactly what I would say would happen in the season. I'm so blessed to be a part of it with all of you. And I think that the channels that are here, I'm going to get the channel. So obviously you see Red Horde, you have Racecourse Ramble, Two Beards, Dazzle, Welsh Beast, and the Local Pundit. We put this together. Sean, give him credit where credit's due, and such a nice guy. All of us together doing this, and just having a great chat and growing the communities has been really great. I think the club is such a it's such a, I don't know, like an attraction for everybody, but also like meeting all new people and talking and, planning things for the summer and being a part of everyone's lives. I think it's great. So today's game was awesome. The season has been awesome. And I'm really just, I know Sean and the rest of the guys and Matt and the Two Beards guys and Dazzle and the Welsh Beast, I know they all say the same, that thank you all very much for being a part of the community and making it about you. We're just here as your hosts, and it's about what you guys are doing, guys and gals are doing. So thank you all. Thank you all very much. So yeah, last game of the season, got the W, didn't get the double on us, which I think is great. So yeah, on my note, just not to make it, I'll do a Wrexham reaction tomorrow, and we'll be here. We're doing the watch-alongs for all through the summer for the playoffs and everything like that. But no, it's been really fun. So thank you all very much, and credit to everyone that comes on the show, and has their say in the chat and having their voices said. So really, really special stuff. So on that bombshell.